And while you're eating, if you want to go back for seconds, it's fine.
Well, thank you, Loretta.
We tried to be making sure that you could just take up if you want. And if there's somebody at home you want to taste it. Welcome to class number 11. We are looking at, thank you for the clapping. We had a wonderful time in Florida. We refreshed. We saw the butterflies. And we saw the butterflies, and we saw the butterflies. I think we took 3 or 4 times to go through there. We just bought a membership so we could just go as often as we wanted. If there was rain or what, we would just go there. And we went bird watching on boardwalks and saw a lot of wonderful birds. Welcome back. Oh, you're not supposed to hug.
Hi, Beth.
The chairs are set apart for social distancing, unless you're a family group, and then you can be together. I want you to know this could be mandated that we cannot meet again. And if it happens that I saw on the news that if they could even have armed guards blocking the road to enforce no moving.
Yep.
And we've seen that in other countries.
Yep.
And you have to have special permits to move on the road. And it is only a health precaution because there's a lot written about the 1918 and so flu and how quickly it wiped out people. We don't want any of you to lose, and we want you to win. We have, in the first 10 meetings, we have covered the ground already. I was amazed as I saw how quickly we were being shut down in our country. I was amazed how God orchestrated this health class.
Amen.
We were invited to do this health class in November. And we put it through the board, it was approved to the board, and we were delayed a little bit, and I had this urgency. Don't delay, terrible times are coming. And I thought it was just about our own situation that we've been dealing with for 4 years almost. I didn't know that it was going to be the coronavirus. None of us knew it. It was a surprise to all of us. And when there was rough spots in the road, we just prayed. And we just kept moving forward in this health class. And I feel victorious about it because I was reading the notes after I came back from Florida, and I was thinking what I should share. And I already said that. I already told them that. But what if there's somebody new today? They'll have to get the old notes. God has already put in a strong foundation for you to survive the coronavirus.
Amen.
All these notes have all the content from hours of hard work, digging and putting out this information so that you can be ready for this crisis that we are now inside of. And as we called and sent messages to all of you that we definitely were meeting today, we were watching hour by hour the restraining of our country. We were watching how quickly people are dying. And none of my own family have died from this, but I was praying, Lord, there's people who have not made their decision for you, and we want them to have time before they die. How can we reach them if our mission work is stopped? We can't even travel now. How can we reach them? Lord, please stop this virus. This is from Satan, not from the Lord. This is not a plague from heaven. This is the pestilences that were prophesied Satan was going to do to wipe out huge amounts of population before they could repent and be saved. And I think that in this health class, if you take nothing else home, that we need to all be praying for our families, for those who don't know Jesus. And we've got to get them informed somehow. Many of them are going online. And so Jenny's working hard, 2 or 3 lessons a day, to make sure children can have their Bible studies online. And be sure you watch for that, because she's done this for 18 years and now it's going online, so that those who cannot come in person to see her program can see it online. It's not the same. When you get the feedback of people all excited about the Bible story and they're answering the quiz questions, it's a lot more lively. But she's doing it, does the same. On the first page of your papers for tonight, I gave you an opportunity, if you think of something that you want to ask, bring up, or what, if you could write me a note on the back. Sometimes the social structure is, especially now as we're social distancing, you may not be able to tell me what you want to tell me. You may not be able to ask me questions, or you're afraid in class. This is a paper you can do it on. And I can even mail it to you, or I can just make sure I can read your writing. I don't have to worry about it being in another language. And we can have special prayers for people that you're worried about. Now, I'm going to use, strangely, I'm going to try to hold the mic and turn this. There. This is a picture of our travel, and because Elijah had a little cough, she was very concerned that everybody on the airplane would move away and say bad things and give us trouble. She dressed him up real cute as a pilot.
That's cool.
And the pilots were so excited, they'd never seen anybody dressed like that for a 3-year-old. And they invited him clear inside the cockpit.
Wow.
He never coughed when he was in there. If he did, we were going to say it's the cough pit. But he didn't. He was so quiet. He's looking at all those buttons. And both the pilot and the co-pilot are taking pictures of him. I thought it was really fun. And there was another picture of them getting him in there. That's the co-pilot. He said, "Go sit in my chair." And so Elijah's looking at all those buttons, saying nothing, and they're very quiet. And then when we got off the plane, we had another surprise here in Spokane. We're clear down the pathway, and we're just near the restrooms, and all of a sudden this pilot comes running up. "Hey, that's the cutest outfit I've ever seen." And he comes up close. "Oh, you already have wings. That's Delta stuff all over you. You need to tell your mother to get the Delta stuff off. And here's something from United." And he hands him a passport from United that has all the detailed fun things to do in there. And he's just like, "What's happening to me? Mama told me not to talk to strangers. Is this a different thing?" And we're just all laughing. He's saying, "Come on, fly on United." And see, he's looking at his passport. And here's the airplane details of going clear from this farthest tip in USA, clear back to Washington State. A long ways, long trip. And how many hours did it take us, Jenny? Turned it the wrong way there. Then online, we saw yesterday they had mandated all U.S. citizens come back. So there's, out of Europe, there's a picture of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds coming back through, trying to get through customs, and their wait is 6 hours. You can't have any flight connections if you've got 6 hours. And then after that, they had to go find their suitcase, which took another 4 hours. 10 hours. And people have to eat. They have to use a restroom. And they can't. There's no restrooms during the custom part. And you can't use your cell phone. It's against the law during that customs area. Anyway, when I saw that, I thought, I've never, ever seen it like this. Never. In my life. And I I've traveled more than 1,000,000 miles. I've seen a lot of delays, but I've never seen anything this scary. And at first I heard a lot of people scoffing, but if you're a healthcare person, you're going to see something that's different, that will kind of make you more convinced that people are really protecting you, and these laws, you comply with them. I highly recommend as a Christian that you do all you can to be in compliance with the law if it's not breaking our Bible truths. And to resist it and to scorn them is only to make their life hard. I would not want their job to enforce all this. I can't read that. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare. This is not King James Version. We memorized it, but it's he will from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. So in the refreshing that God did of us, he sent extra butterflies to me. I love butterflies, and I just close my eyes and I say, oh, Father in heaven, I think you're going to put lots of butterflies in my house. And they had only beautiful classical music, so it wasn't hard to imagine yourself in heaven. And it was so soft and soothing. We just went back day after day. I tried not to make my husband too bored. He loves the birds more than, but he was enjoying it with me. And at the ocean, we got a really good sunny day just before we left. And the day before, they wiped off privileges on all the beaches. They aren't letting people on the beach getting any sunshine.
The day after
Yeah, just the day after this picture.
that. And do they even have consultation?
Do they even have There's a new case this morning in Medical Lake, or yesterday morning.
It's all kind of blending.
A young teacher in Medical Lake now has been tested positive. And I think you've seen the shells. It's that way in Florida. It's that way in Australia. You know where God said be careful not to do hoarding because violent hands will take it? Those violent hands, the clerks are telling us stories. They get a truckload in, and while they're trying to open a box, the people are ripping the box, grabbing the stuff out of the box, and running to the checkout to pay for it. Violent hands. And Jenny's reaching for something she needed for this week, and a lady's shoving her aside and trying to get before she reaches it. And we heard on the news that, don't worry, we'll bring the food to your door. Rations. What do you think you would get? Do you think it would be anything like what we're talking about in this health class?
No.
Do you think it might just be pork and beans? You know, or pork and potatoes or whatever. I believe that what my mom taught me about canning during canning season was a wonderful thing she taught me. And they said on the news that you need to have water. I said to my husband, why? He said, don't count on having the water running. Why? He said, honey, just think. Everybody's jobs are being stopped. What's next? If they're sick and they're not operating, will the power come through? Will you be without power? Well, if the health professional goes online and says, or on the news and says, get water, then get water. So I thought, why not can your water? You have good well water. What if you can't run your pump anymore? Why not just have some few? I'm not saying make thousands of gallons. I'm saying this might only last 2 months. We don't know how long. My husband said maybe a whole year, but he, it takes a while for the virus to run its course, according to what happened in 1918. So, the shelves are empty. I didn't realize, because just one day in Florida, we got what we needed. The next day we go back, we thought, we reached for, it's not there. Go down the next lane, we got some more pictures. This is Florida. There's nothing there. There's big sections of missing stuff. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not giving you any brand new news. It's here. This is Winco Foods, long checkouts, and then Costco, and we're hearing reports. But the violence happens in the parking lot. The pickups are full of things that people just go and take it out. The clerks are telling us there's people going and robbing from the collections that are in the cars, and they're breaking windows to get stuff out. So be discreet if you need to go to market, and if you have a strong man to go do it, I think it's better. I would think. But pray, we have angels guarding us. I thought this immunologist was a little arrogant in his declarations, and I looked for a date on his paperwork and decided not to even tell you about it, because he probably would eat his words today. He didn't know where this was going. But he was saying it's nothing to it, and, you know, if you just use common sense. But what God says to get is sunshine. Sunshine in the windows. We had these windows all open for 7 hours before you came. We disinfected every table before you came. We had fresh air in and out, in and out, in and out, with the doors wide open and the sun to do the killing of the germs that might be here to protect you when you got here. And we were very careful preparing the food here with your well water and carefully cleaning what?
Social distancing with the chairs.
And we put the social distancing with the chairs. And we want to protect you. We wouldn't have come if we didn't think this was really, really important for your survival. These things I've researched out of Ellen White's writings are very precious, and references are on your papers. So within 15 inches of your windows, if your curtains are open, you have destroyed bacteria, virus, and fungus, and prions, and all the other little ones that we have not identified yet as scientists. So 15 inches from the bright sunshine of the window, it gets less and less as you go through the room. So the more windows open, the more fresh air you can do, God says you'll be healthier in your lungs. Exercise is something we've already talked about in this class. Fresh air, walking, and gardening is the favorite because you're not bored. You gotta walk so far, and I'm tired, I'm sick of this. And it's not that way when you're seeing the food and the things coming up. Exercise, well, this is Councils on Health 53. Exercise will aid the work of digestion. To walk out after a meal, hold the head erect, put back the shoulders. Exercise moderately will be a great benefit. The mind will be diverted from self to the beauties of nature. Water. Now, this is not just talking about drinking water. We need more water now during this time. If you get any soreness in your throat, you need to wash with water. You need to gargle, and I'll show on your list some of the gargling things here in a minute. We'll get to that. Hydrotherapy. We're going to do a demonstration of hydrotherapy on an adult mannequin and on a child mannequin. And then we're going to show you a foot bath on a real person, right? Raya's our volunteer. And when you get your care and your exercise in nature. There is a revitalization. It is God's second book. There is a revitalization and a recharging of your batteries. Rest is not just the night sleep. It is having a day like Sabbath afternoon that you can get out in God's nature, have a big change from your week. Besides your resting on Sabbath, there is a rest that we enter into that is amazing, that the world doesn't understand. And the diet we've been looking at here for several sessions, your diet will make a difference on your immune system. Dr. Neil Medley, internist, through Doug Batchelor interview you're watching on Sabbath, he stated that COVID-19 resistance is helped by antioxidant foods. So we have plenty antioxidant foods today. Plant-based foods are the best, he says. Berries are on the top of the list, blueberries and blackberries. Plums are very good for you with antioxidants. Dried fruits, okra. Florida had lots of okra. I don't see Michelle tonight. We maybe didn't get a hold of Michelle. Eggplant is antioxidant. The crucifery, Dr. Neil Nedley said, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts are in the crucifery family, and we have them in the creamed vegetables. And kale is number 1, and number 2, garlic, and we have those. The dip has kale and garlic, and I didn't get the spinach in right. Somebody's waking up. Avoid sugar because it decreases your immune system, your fighter cells. Don't touch your face. Then Dr. Neil Medley promoted something that I hadn't heard of, that's N-acetylcysteine, NAC. It's in your notes now, and Jenny has ordered some online. Hasn't come yet. Maybe it's all gone. Somebody else has ordered it. And it's immune enhancing. And do you remember what it's out of? Something plant-based.
I don't remember, but it's vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free. What's that?
The N-acetylcysteine.
Yeah.
I always, when somebody says, here's something that will help, I always want to know what's it made out of. If it's out of caffeine, if it's out of pepper, if, I just say, thank you very much anyway. I want to know what's made out of before I'm going to take it. And 6-foot radius is important. Wash your hands. This is kind of, you've probably heard this more than 100 times already. Weimar is not closed, he said. It's the safest place to recover. And in the serving line, they wash their hands all the time. That's what Neil Nedley said. Neil Nedley also mentioned the iodine spray. It was another man, doctor, that recommended an iodine spray.
2% or 6%.
The world's best antiviral, he thought, very broad spectrum. David Derrick was his name, using it medically in the form of potassium iodide. Dilute 150 micrograms per drop. With every squirt, you can put a squirt in your mouth, a squirt in your nose. I can't imagine. I don't like squirting anything in my nose. I'd have to be pretty desperate to squirt something in my nose. And you can breathe it. And there's the Lugol's 2 to 5% more concentrated. Don't use that on the eyes or the lungs, he said. This is what we heard on Sabbath on the 3 APN broadcast. We've just been watching everything we could.
You showed it in church.
From 3 APN? Okay. And so we had our our church at home online. We had the little guy coughing too much to show up because at the conference they said if you cough, you can't come. So we didn't. Primarily, the 8 natural remedies, which we've talked about every time we've had a class. Ministry of Healing teaches the lifestyles can diminish the symptoms of cough, cold, flus, viruses, and then he talked about the Advent paper in 1918 flu, and I guess you heard about that yesterday as well. 120 were living and eating, and 90 got the flu, but not one died. Dr. Larson treated them. They all survived. 40% of the world will get this. Now, they had quite a few people living in the same place, so they had a nice study to show the world about the flu in 1918. Well, I wasn't around during that time, but my grandmother was. And, yeah, 2 grandfathers were. Eggplant is an antioxidant. I've prayed about it before and how the angels showed the hostess to feed me that. And it contains other vitamins and minerals. In addition, eggplants are a source of phenolic compound that act as antioxidants. Foods that contain antioxidants may help prevent a range of diseases. And I like it because it also has zinc. Nedley stated that virus is dangerous. It came from animals, and he said it came from a bat. Another paper said it came from a snake. And that man was on the team who recognized the coronavirus. And I don't know if he's differentiating the COVID-19 came from a bat, but it's something we should not eat. And by eating, Nedley was making the comment, by eating the unclean animals, we have set our population up for strange viral attacks.
Walter White said, in a tape that we just listened to as well, that this was a human-made virus.
Interesting. Now, in Africa, they're writing me, our friends are writing, and they're saying, pray for us, pray for us. The virus has hit us and we're dying. And Jesus says, don't be afraid. But we do need to do the health message so that he can answer our prayers. If we're just denying what he's asking us to do, he's not able, because we've made the choice to go against his health plan. It's kind of funny and kind of really sad. That's a lot of toilet paper.
Yep. I need some.
We tried to figure out why. Why are they stockpiling that one? Why not beans?
Yeah.
Why not things to make bread? Why TP? And Jenny said, well, they're getting diarrhea. So, but you've seen pictures like this, the coronavirus attacking inside the lungs, and it's really hard to reach in there. If you've ever had lung problems, if you've ever had pneumonia, it's a scary thing when you lie down, you can't breathe, it feels like you're just drowning. And in 2016, I thought I was going to die. I had pneumonia, I just thought I was going to die. I kept praying and praying and doing all these remedies. That's why I have so many on the list for cough. And there is a statement that this eucalyptus, you see all the eucalyptus leaves I brought, that's because I'm going to share, each of you will get this. Don't let one leaf fall in the garbage. You can dry every one, you can use it over and over. And I had some boiling on the stove to fill the air because it cleans the air. It has a disinfectant in the not dry?
No, not quite.
So when you're breathing this, it's going into the lungs where you cannot reach. You cannot go in there and wash it. But the humidity in your home, you make the humidity and you put the eucalyptus in the humidity by boiling it. If you have a wood stove, if you have don't have a wood stove, you just have the range, put the big kettle there and put some leaves there. You can use them over and over and boil it, slow boil through the whole day, make sure it doesn't go dry. And you have a disinfectant in your lungs. And it's helping you. It dilates the bronchioles, so it's easier to breathe. It's nice.
Did you put a towel over your head and breathe
Yes.
in it? You can't do that.
Yes, that's what I tell all my patients in Africa. They come with asthma, and they're frantic. One lady, she's shoving her way through all the clinic, and I'm thinking, really? Do you have a position in the church that you feel like you need to be the first one in line? It's usually the people leaders of the church that would take the first spot. And I said, what's going on? She's grasping her chest, and she had an asthma attack. And it reminded me of when Jesus was treating somebody, came down out of the ceiling, and that she was stopping the whole clinic to get her help. And I called the ladies of the church, get the hot water boiling, bring in the eucalyptus leaves, and we put the towel over her, and she was better right away. And she was bringing me clothes from her dress shop that she had. She just was so amazed that I could quickly do that, and it also kills bacteria and virus that was starting her asthma attack in the first place. So there's a lot to this thing that God has taught us about in Selected Messages, Book 2, page 300 and 301. So as the coronavirus comes in, it comes in through the mouth and starts troubling you in the throat. You'll get lymph node enlargement, you'll get sore throat. And if you are on top of this thing, you could be gargling even with the tea of eucalyptus. You could be gargling with charcoal water. Half a spoon in a cup of water and gargling with that. And you can even drink the charcoal water. And I've seen people drinking the eucalyptus tea. I have not seen it in Ellen White's writings as something to be drinking, but it's sold in Florida in packets, and on the back of the packet it says how to drink it, how to fix it.
She does say you can use lemon and honey for a sore throat.
Yes, and eucalyptus.
Oil.
Yeah, she has, so this is what I found in Florida on the spice shelf. It's called eucalyptus, that's it. Isn't that unique? And it says the company is Badia, B-A-D-I-A, and I think it's on your paper, it's coming up here soon. But you might be able to send them an email and say, can you drop ship me some? I picked up some packets thinking the class might want some. Then I found it fresh, then that'll be easier, just send them that way. And you can dry it yourself, enjoy it, smell it fresh, and then dry it yourself and keep it. And then there's something that the dentist gave Elijah, and it's called chlorhexidine gluconate 0.12 oral rinse. And we were supposed to put it on a Q-tip and wash his mouth with the Q-tip 2 to 3 times a day. Was that when he had bumped his tooth and it was swelling? Okay, so the lady who dispensed it, she said, hang on to this. Don't get rid of this. When he's done with this, you can use it for so many good things. And that's a good thing for gargling. But you have to get a dentist to say you need it. God will give us everything we need. Everything we need. If you do not stockpile the thing that you needed next week and it's not there, God will give you everything you need. Philippians 4:19. My God shall supply
All my needs.
all our needs according to His riches and glory in Christ Jesus. So be sensible. If you cannot go, it's too dangerous, and they're fighting. They're violent, breaking windows and taking things you do buy. God will help you through this. That's the way I look at it. We can have our peace. So Neil Nedley said, be sure you get your zinc if you start feeling a sore throat. Okay, so I said, he said zinc lozenges. And I think, okay, how about if we're eating it in our food? Remember, this has been the principle that I said down at the very beginning. Don't go looking for, say you don't want modern medicine and you go looking for some other medicine. What are you doing? It's not the way God has said. You eat it in as natural condition as possible. And Dr. Harding, Sr., came to our medical school in Kansas City and he told us this. You will make your body work overtime if you're loading it down with vitamins and minerals you're buying somewhere. Take your food in that is got these vitamins and let it come in a balance. Keep everything in a good balance. And then your body's not working too hard to get rid of something that's too much, making your kidneys work overtime. So when Neil Nedley said get zinc lozenges, I thought, what foods? So I started looking online again. I already had it back in lesson on immunology, right? There's a nice good list there. Lesson number, 9? Anyway, so zinc is in the sunflower seeds. And I have a nice long list in your notes of other foods. And it's on our table. The zinc items, they're all in the food we made today. Singing will make your immune system go up. I know they canceled your choir tonight, but you can sing anyway. And there is a song that just keeps going in my mind when I see this horror of people dying. Italy, and I see all the patients in intensive care, and I see the nurses crying because there's people coming in and dying in front of them. And these people are all face down, like hoping they're going to survive this, and they're all on respirators. And I'm watching this, and I just, inside of me, I've been trained. I've been in the field of medicine for 40-some years, 44 plus. And I want to help. I just think of this song. I have set my mind on another time.
And another place.
And another place. And 3ABN singer from, looks like an Australian, is singing that. Huh?
Reggie Smith.
Okay, yes. So I put it on Facebook over and over. I keep punching it 4 or 5 times a day, making it sing out again for me. And then I tried to sing with it. Okay, prophecy promises us we shall eventually have all earthly support cut off. But God promises bread and water. That's right. Isaiah 33:11. The time is future. This is a pandemic worldwide, viral outbreak endangering immune-compromised ones. Isaiah 53:16 also talks about it. God tells us that storage of great amounts of supplies will be taken by violent hands. And it's already in our faces. They're already breaking windows of cars and they're pushing Jenny aside. And I said, I don't like this. I don't want to go to town. I don't want to be shoved and kicked and my windows broken just to get something in there that they couldn't find on the shelf. Do you? Keep it out of sight. If you have it, keep it out of sight and don't tell everybody you have it.
Well, or if they ask you, give it to them. If they ask for your
Yes.
quote, give them your
Yes,
whatever.
that's right.
If they're gonna kill you to get it, give it to them.
Right.
Oh, really?
In Africa, they were told, quickly flee now. We have to run. The other tribe is coming and decapitating everybody. This man said, no, I got to get my plow. He turns around to get the plow and his head came off.
Yeah.
They were after him. When God says, leave quickly, then obey. He's training us to obey in little steps, but the big step's coming. I urge you to stockpile in God's Word and memorize.
Amen.
And that will keep you, it will give you some peace. I'm not saying if you're running for your life that you have a ton of peace. We've been through something for some time and we want peace. I urge you to stockpile on the area of God's Word. Spend much time storing promises of God and make sure you're ready if you should be a victim of violence while people are stampeding or taking from others in the parking lots or by this, from this or other viruses. You die. Learn and do the healthy lifestyle God told us more than 170 years ago. We've heard clerks tell us all kinds of stories. They pleaded with us to pray for them. We don't know why they asked us to pray, but they've been asking us to pray. On Sunday morning, we went to get something for the health class. They're asking, would you pray for us? They're really working hard. They have all these stockpilers. They have to check all this out, do the same job for the same price. They're tired. Violent hands. They see them all day. March 15, the governor of our state, that's yesterday, restricted the group size to 50 starting Monday. And now it's down to?
10.
And,
Oh, really?
yeah, today they said that.
President.
Well, they recommended it.
Yeah.
He didn't mandate it, but recommended it.
So in California, it was 50 on Sabbath. But we were checking, we were doing a head count before we came for the meeting. I was thinking, if we have 50 that have suddenly become concerned about coronavirus and they're here, then I'll say, I'll do the first 25, then you go and I'll get the next 25. That we did in Russia. We've done that in many countries when we had more than we were allowed to have in the building. In Russia, we were only told we could have 150 on the floor. It was a dance floor. 2,000 came.
Oh, mercy.
And I said, Lord, put the angels underneath and hold it up for us. Okay.
Go through the locations of where you put the charcoal for the fever.
Okay, so the charcoal goes on a washcloth that you cut into 4 pieces. You get it all wet. Each piece you get wet. Then you lavishly cover with charcoal, and you can even roll it so that the charcoal's on the outside, or you can roll it so the charcoal's on the inside of the towel. I like direct skin contact because it's a pretty serious virus. And if they have the fever, no matter if it's corona or something else, it's going to take it down. So you put it in the armpits and in the groin and over the abdomen. So you'll need 5. Leave it all night, keep it wet. If they're tossing around, be sure you cover the bed with something you don't care. Because if you have a concern about your floor, if you have a concern about your sheet, cover it with something else. What is more important? Life. And you will find a big difference in about 30 to 40 minutes. You'll find, check that temperature again. Don't check it in the armpit where the washcloth is. You can either use the mouth or the temple area or the forehead. You can check and you'll notice already after 40 minutes it's going down. Keep it there all night, and you can, if they're conscious, you can get a cup of water, put in a half a teaspoon of charcoal, mix it good, and lift them up so they're not aspirating. Then you get them to drink the charcoal water. It will also be washing the back of the throat.
A half a cup of charcoal?
No,
A
half
whole cup
teaspoon.
with a half a teaspoon of powdered charcoal. the powdered charcoal at the ABC on Sunday was in this color. Usually I find it a whole black colored bottle, but this says on the outside it's from hardwood. Ellen White says get it from eucalyptus. Now, it doesn't say it's from eucalyptus. Am I going to just not treat her? Because any charcoal's going to help. Just the wonderful thing about eucalyptus, it's going to open, you know all these little windows you have on your skin, it's going to open the windows. The pores are going to open, and so you can go deeper in your treatment if you're using. Okay, so I didn't have that. What can I do? Well, I have eucalyptus water on my stove. So instead of using just plain water to get my washcloth wet, I'm going to use the eucalyptus water that's on my stove. And then I put the charcoal on, and then I've got the combination. It's not eucalyptus charcoal, but it's hardwood charcoal and eucalyptus water. So we're okay. It's going to open the pores and make it easier for the charcoal to reach and filter. So then next,
You said it's okay to leave it on all night. Does that mean you just leave that, you just put the dose on one time and then leave those on all night, or do you take them out and redo them?
okay, good question. The question is about how often do you redo this? You get you can get it re-wet. But after 12 hours, it's better if they're really sick. You've got the stuff being drawn into that washcloth. Clean it out, add more, and start again.
So that
I
you
say
can
12
do
hours.
one dose for 12 hours?
Yeah. Yeah, making sure, if you have a deeper one, it's better. I like them up to the knee.
What is this thing called? Does it put that?
Foot massage. Yeah. It's almost like getting your feet rubbed because it has all the bubblies and everything going there. And
Feel good, Ryan? Feel good?
We use it for foot. That's what I used to do for girls. So it's
the bed is full of, is it on?
Yes.
Why don't you bring it up close so that
I gotta get you.
Facebook friends can see what we're doing here. And to recap what we've said about the foot bath, we do this for an hour, and we have as much of the depth that we can get. The deeper the better, up to the knee is good. And you can even put charcoal in here. And it should not bother the motor if it's a real fine powder, or you have it in a bag. Then you also can do the eucalyptus leaves. They are the ones that Selected Messages Book 2 talks about. You need the eucalyptus in there. It's going to cause dilation of the pores and a quicker effect. I don't know why even putting the eucalyptus oil with olive oil and rubbing the feet and the legs is recommended by God. It will increase your circulation. It will also add therapy to your lungs. It must enter the bloodstream in some manner to be able to do that, as far as I can understand the physiology of it. To put the sheet totally over is the best therapy because you're breathing it as well. If they have a headache, you can have them sipping on water and massage their shoulder muscles and their neck. And if they start feeling too warm, you can put some cool cloth on their head so they're not uncomfortable through this.
So this entire hour, that foot bath is warm?
Yes,
Do you have to keep adding water to
to keep it warm.
That does not heat it, it just makes it go.
Some have the buttons that will keep it warm. I have the pan under there to keep the carpet from getting wet.
Yeah.
It somehow has a drain that sometimes drips,
Yeah.
so I
See,
keep
it is
that
leaking.
that pan so it can't bother the carpet.
Dr. Rose.
So somebody dropped off a steam cabinet at my house and I didn't have room for it, but they said they didn't have room, they were moving out of town. And we were sick at the time, so I used it many hours a day and it was wonderful.
You mean like one of those saunas where you?
Yeah, and your hand sticks out.
Yeah.
And then you have your feet in the foot bath, you put a kettle in there, put your feet in that, and then you have the steam coming around you. It's wonderful. And you can go to the pine tree, the fir, and what else did Ellen White say?
Myrtles.
Cedar. Yeah, the myrtle is not around here, but it's out down by the coast. That myrtle was talked about in heaven. She said she saw the myrtle tree in heaven. But the pine, the spruce, the
Find the fir.
cedar, and the fir are also beneficial for your breathing. If you don't mind the pitch, if you have an old kettle, it doesn't matter, put it on the stove with lots of water and get the branches and just steam them, put them over. If you're frantic because you can't breathe, you're going to look for those things. Or you'll use the oil. They have essential oils. The,
So you could just boil fresh pine needles
yes,
and then steam it.
yeah. And
What's your kettle for that?
your kettle will be full of pitch. So you use an old kettle that doesn't matter. Get one at the thrift store for 10 cents and just keep it for that. Hopefully you're not going to need it once every 5 years or whatever, but it's always good to have it.
You just do the pine needles or do you do the branches too?
Honestly, like you need the needles. You need the needles.
I take the whole branch and I set it over the open mouth of the kettle and let the steam, it turns black after a while, but it makes the whole house smell like pine trees.
Christmas.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing that God has put in our trees. This medicine.
I have a lot of people that suffer from migraines. So you do would you do the hot and then the cold, the hot and the cold, or just the hot?
You can do cold for just a minute. You have the cold one there beside them. And you get this look on their face and you can go back and forth. I've done it that way. Any other questions on the
So do you always end this with cold?
I
Or do you?
I do a friction rub and then put some eucalyptus, like Derm's arm, on their feet and put a sock on them. Nice warm woolen socks. Get them right into bed. Get asleep. The headache, the relief, I don't understand the physiology, but God says it causes the head to clear. The circulation is no longer congested in the head. The headache goes away, and the circulation is improved, and it's good. They can sleep really well.
He's the one that designed this.
Yes, there's a lot we don't know. There's still so much.
Yeah.
The hot on the feet pulls the blood from the head down to the feet.
Circulating.
Yeah, and relieves the congestion. Yeah.
It circulates and balances things out.
Did anybody catch on the Hope Channel last night? They had a whole hour of butterflies. The chrysalis, and the miracle of what's going on in there. Did you saw? Yes. I was in bed just like, it was the most fascinating program I've seen in a long time.
So when your feet are in the hot water, you just need to watch butterflies.
Yeah.
Think of all the good things God has done for you. Drink lots of water, more than usual. And
You know,
pray.
just thinking about God's miracles, every little aspect of life, that in itself brings joy to your heart, and that's healing also.
Yes,
No matter
it
what's
is.
going on in your life, you think about His power, His creation, and watching that show, I was ready to go to bed when it came on. Yeah, it was like, it was the most enjoyable thing to watch.
Yes,
I learned
isn't
about
that
before I
great?
went to sleep. Yeah. Yeah.
We should do this every night, even if we don't have a headache.
Something called Dr. Rose. side effects. People like to shout at you and say it's taking away your vitamins. Don't discredit God when He says to do it. Don't take it during the time you're taking any other medicine because it can also collect that one to its surface. So if you're doing high blood pressure medicine, blood pressure, whatever, you just are going to help clear, as God says, it'll take away toxins. I forgot to mention that if you are one who likes to save money, when you have a little bad spot on your fruits or vegetables, don't just cut it off. You have to throw the whole thing away. It is full of toxin through all the cells of that thing. You're not saving money. You're actually, God says, those toxins cause more death than people realize.
Wow.
So if you save this beautiful, expensive fruit for a special occasion and you look at it, you feel really sad, you're so tempted, I'll just cut off the bad spot. Just remember, God says it causes death. And those toxins can be very harmful, but with charcoal you can help draw them away. I just pray that I haven't neglected to, I had not followed my notes to make sure I covered everything. She would, as she comes out of this nice hot water bath, just rub those feet up real nice.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna try and go tomorrow,
It's open at 10. I don't know if they do those.
or whenever I was staying there, I'll look around.
That's nice, because I live alone, that's something I can do myself.
Yes,
That's what I was thinking,
That's what I was thinking too. If you are the only one, you don't have any help, then there's things you can do for yourself.
yeah. So you can get a nice warm sock. That's one thing I forgot to tell you. God says that you're not supposed to have bare extremities. They were not designed for that. You cover them very warmly. If you're wearing one sock and nice covering on the legs, but you put on 2 or 3 coats, then you need to go again and put more layers down here and get a bigger shoe size.
Short words, it looks wonderful.
No, you're talking about only when we're sick?
Always. Because that will cause sickness if you don't. It will also cause rheumatoid arthritis in the joints and other diseases of coughing if you don't.
Is this in all weather?
All weather. All weather, we're not wearing a lot of coats. If we're going light up here, we can wear a lighter sock down here. But
But
we
I
have
mean,
to
you keep
cover
the legs covered in all
Yes.
weather.
all weather.
That doesn't mean you'll use the same material all year long.
Right.
A lighter sock for a lighter temperature. This bag can be used again, just hang it up and dry it. Thank you, Jenny, for helping us get this together. Thank you for helping demonstrate this. Oh,
Is that a cotton bag?
What is it? It's kind of muslin.
So if they'll,
Sorry.
let's say you're getting the toxins drawn out, should you be like rinsing off those leaves in the bag, you know,
yeah, you can
before
do that.
they let it dry out?
Yeah, you can do that. Put it in the sun.
Yeah, that's a good, better idea.
Let it dry out, wash it, put it in the sun.
When we see the sun around here.
So you said that we didn't get the,
No, it did not get the hot and cold on camera.
there are several people on Facebook in other states that have asked that we get this on camera tonight. So that's why we were trying to, sorry, I put my back to you.
That's all right.
So about how many towels would it take for an hour of fermentation? So like if you're going to someone's house,
How many
it
towels
might
do
be
I
wise
take?
to have packs where you bring in your own stuff.
You
Yeah.
can reuse towels too, once they've cooled down. You can-
If they're cold, just feel how awful it is when they're cold and wet. And so you can't go back to that unless you want to use that one when you're doing the ice.
Yeah, save one for the cold and one for the hot.
The pile, you count up if you've got a young person or an older person. You need 6 layers doing just 2 layers. Because you can really burn if you've got the boiling water.
And you just put your hand in there yourself and make sure that it's not, because
Yeah.
older people will blister and burn real easy.
And you feel so
Or
sad.
fair skin redheads, burn easier.
So I'm gonna recap on this. The armpits and the groin, you take a small washcloth, cut the washcloth in 4s, get a lavish amount of
We got the charcoal.
hot charcoal, okay.
Yeah.
Hot.
Heat it up in the water of the eucalyptus if you don't have charcoal of eucalyptus. Put that in the armpits and over the abdomen. Also put one like a thin diaper with the charcoal on it, and then start your hot and cold. You want it right near the skin to do that charcoal. Then you put your layers, only 2 nice thick towel like this if it's a younger person. You get 55, 65, your skin is thinner. You're gonna burn easier. You're gonna blister easier. So get 6 layers on the elderly, and then you will never be embarrassed that you've burned them.
6 layers underneath the heart.
Yeah. Then you come
Like
with
3 towels folded.
a twisted towel. Now see how when I twist it, I'm touching me because I'm trying to twist it myself. If you have a partner that's helping you, you're lucky, because you don't. So you have to kind of twist it like that. It hits your body, it's gonna burn you and get you close. So you twist it while it's dry. And then if you can get somebody to hang on to the end of that and go into the water with you, clear, immerse it totally. But keep this corners out, it's dry. Then you're not gonna burn your hands, hopefully, if you do it right. And then pull it out and pull tight. And then go quickly, as fast as you can, to cover them. Cover with a towel and with a woolen blanket or some other blanket if you can find it. Then
So you don't have to double the fomentation towel.
The hot one.
Yeah.
if you do, you'll have a lot of good. If it's a big person, you might want to spread it out like this.
Okay.
It's dry out here on the ends anyway,
Yeah.
so keep it nice and warm. 20 minutes go by, you're checking first 5 minutes, feeling, if you feel it's a little too hot, you quickly put in another towel layer to keep them from burning. And then come back 20 minutes, then you're going to flip it off, have another set ready. So during that 20 minutes, you have work to do.
Yeah.
You're getting your water ready, you're getting your towel ready, and you can take the hot towel. I'll show you a trick that I've got. You take that hot towel to get it ready early, and you get it all twisted up, and it's already boiling hot, and you twist it like this so it conserves all the heat like this, and you wrap it up, and even if you have foil, it'll reflect so you got it in there, and then, you know these hot and cold packs you can take out of a store with the frozen things in it?
Oh,
Stick it inside there and zip it shut, and so you have 3 or 4 hot towels waiting and ready. So if there's not 2 of you doing it, you can do it that way. And it's all sitting there in that bag. You do the ice, 5 minutes, do that ice. If they don't like 5 minutes, you keep them happy. So then we flip it back on, go another 20 minutes, and keep checking. We've got a new towel. This is not the first one. It's covered it up nice and warm.
You're working quickly like Jenny was just
Yeah.
saying.
And so you're really exhausted when you do this for
Yeah.
2 hours, and you flip them over and you do it again. But you see so much a difference. You're inspired to keep going.
The second hour in the back.
When I went all the way up to Mountain View, it was really a blessing to see how quickly they felt better. So then, after that, 3 and 3 on the other side, if they have really bad headache and fever, the next step here is you're going to go to the hot foot bath. Yes, if they have a sinus infection, you take your washcloth, smaller towels you can also do. Be really careful, you're right near the eyes.
Yeah.
You, very, very sensitive here, but you can use washcloths, smaller, or face towels up there to help the sinus. Some intense sinus pain right in here. Be really careful not to burn the skin.
What about clogged ears? What about clogged, ears that aren't clearing from when, like say they're blowing their nose too hard and they,
Yeah.
what's the trick for
The
that?
foot bath and the eucalyptus lozenges. The eucalyptus lozenge can work from the inside. The eustachian tube is open at the back, and the inner ear pressure becomes equalized as you're taking the lozenge. I put some by your place, Kate.
Yeah, I noticed those were really great. Were those eucalyptus?
These are eucalyptus, and
Oh, wow.
pomegranates have zinc in them.
Oh, my.
Jenny orders these online for me. They're really nice. They have pomegranates, my favorite. They have honey, they have lemon, they have eucalyptus. All of them have eucalyptus. Pomegranate has zinc in it. So it's real helpful for opening up the sinus, opening up the ears. If you're on an airplane and the ears are in a lot of pain, a sinus is in terrible pain, take a lozenge and it will quickly open up things for you.
Can I recap on how to do a child?
I want to recap on Rono here. He's got congestion and stridor. He's had a fever of 104, and he needs some help. He's really sick and he's struggling to breathe, so we could put a pillow to give him some elevation so he's not feeling like he's drowning. A pillow, thank you, that's nice. That's right, I had some more I could have called on. So his elevation will help him breathe while you're doing all this, and he's not going to panic and throw off the treatment quicker. You want 6 layers on this little guy. You put on the 6 layers of towels, and we can borrow something here. The 6 layers, 1, 2, we've got 4, 5, 6. We've got it right there. He's got a small chest anyway. You got it there. And then we get the hot towel. We put it on real quick. We do the same thing. I like a smaller towel on a kid, but I never argue. If I have a towel, I'm thankful. Again, you twist it really tight. Before you put it in the water, each time you do the towel, put it in, stretch it out over the kettle.